The iPhone X is one of the most hyped Apple products ever. I already unboxed the 10 on launch day and gave you all the first look, but now it's time for my impressions after a week of using this new iPhone. Hello everybody, this is Joe the Geek, and here are my iPhone X impressions after 1 week. So I'll start off by saying that this is not a full review. I'm going to focus mainly on the user experience and how all the changes feel coming from a previous iPhone. The full review will come later. With that in mind, let's get into it. Obviously, the most important thing about the iPhone X is the new design and screen. With the home button gone, you're literally holding just a screen, and that feels, quite frankly, really awesome. Even after a week, it still feels amazing that I'm actually using an iPhone X. After all the hype, the actual real phone in hand still has that newness and exciting factor. And besides the screen, the rest of the phone is extremely high quality as well, with an all-glass back and stainless steel sides. This device really screams quality and refinement, and it absolutely should considering its price. Of course, I've kept it in a case since unboxing it because it's far too breakable and expensive to use caseless, but I still appreciate the high quality design even with the case on. After a week, I'm still really enjoying the design of this new iPhone. What about that screen? What's it like to actually use an iPhone with no home button? Well, it feels great. The gestures feel simple, straightforward, and natural, as if the iPhone always should have been this way. It probably took about a day for me to adjust to having no home button, and it's actually surprising how quickly I've adjusted. There's the odd time where I'll accidentally reach for the bottom of the screen to click a button, especially when I'm rearranging my app icons on the home screen, but those instances are rare, and after a week, I'd say I've completely adjusted to the new gestures. As I said, they're extremely simple. Swipe up to go home, swipe up and pause for multitasking. You can also swipe up at an angle to get to multitasking faster. Control Center feels a bit weird at times being in the top right corner, and I still sometimes want to swipe up to adjust my brightness or change a setting quickly, but for the most part I've gotten used to it being at the top. I do wish there was a way to get the battery percentage back though, but hey, maybe it will make me less OCD about my iPhone's battery life. The screen size is actually really great. Coming from a Plus, I wasn't sure how I'd like the new size, but I've adjusted quite well. It measures 5.8 inches diagonally, but in screen area it's about 1% smaller than the Plus. With the 10, you get more screen height in portrait, but less width than the Plus. This makes landscape mode on the 10 not as good as on the Plus. For watching video, this is definitely a downside, as you will be watching with black borders that basically look like bezels. You can choose to expand the video to fill the screen with some of the video cropped out, and this does look cool for showing off the 10's display, but it isn't good for actually seeing the entire video. The decreased width versus the Plus also means you have less keyboard width. However, when actually using my iPhone day to day, the size has been just fine, and I haven't missed the Plus at all. Watching video might be smaller, but you'd have to put them side by side to really know what you're missing. I do sometimes miss the slightly wider keyboard and special landscape features from the Plus, but the 10 has so many other good features that I've already adjusted and moved on. Also, the smaller form factor is actually really nice coming from the Plus. I can use it a bit easier one-handed, and it feels better to carry around and is smaller in your pocket. When you consider the overall nicer form factor of the 10 versus the Plus, and the relatively large screen size that you get with that form factor, the 10 seems a lot more attractive. The app situation is actually pretty good. In the first week, I've already seen a lot of my apps receive updates for the 10 layout. I imagine it's only a matter of time before most apps update. However, I am still waiting on a few of my favorites, like SeatGeek and AtBat. And I will say it is quite frustrating using non-optimized apps. You're basically using a 4.7-inch screen, and coming from a Plus, this is frustrating, not to mention the huge black borders that totally waste the 10 screen. I do hope that these are just temporary and that all my apps will receive optimization soon. For now though, if you regularly use non-optimized apps, it definitely is a downside of using the 10 right now. What about the notch? It really isn't that bad. In fact, I actually appreciate it. If Apple made the whole top area one bezel, it wouldn't have the same all-screen effect and would look like an average Android flagship. The notch design allows as much screen as possible to be used, and gives the iPhone a signature new look. It doesn't really detract from the bezel-less design, nor does it really bother me. If you choose to focus on it, you will see it, but for me, it isn't something that I'm really noticing. It's just a part of the iPhone X, and in most instances, the UI is built around it, and everything looks just fine. The actual screen itself is really good too. True Tone is quite a nice feature to have, and the colors and PPI are both outstanding on this OLED display. Everything is super sharp and clear, and I am definitely enjoying using it. So after 1 week with the iPhone X design, I definitely am not looking back. The all-screen design is amazing, the gestures are excellent, and the form factor is really nice. I have successfully adjusted from the Plus, no problem. The most talked about feature of the iPhone X has to be Face ID, which replaces Touch ID as the method of biometric authentication. It's simple to set up and works consistently, just like Touch ID. However, it does have the disadvantage of requiring the iPhone to be actually in front of your face to unlock it without a passcode. If it's on a table next to you, you have to pick it up or angle it towards your face for it to work. This means that sometimes when you initially try to unlock your iPhone, you have to cancel it and try again with it angled more towards your face. Coming from Touch ID, this can be a bit of an annoyance, but you get used to it and you can always enter a passcode if you don't have it directly in front of you. As long as I have my iPhone in front of me, Face ID works very well and seems to be reliable, even in the dark. It does seem to be a bit slower than Touch ID though. After using it for a week, I'd say it is a viable alternative to Touch ID, but it isn't as fast or usable in all situations, so there are drawbacks. However, I have enjoyed using it, and it's definitely a good means of unlocking your iPhone. The last thing I want to touch on is the camera. I haven't really used the camera much in my first week of use, but I did take a few sunset shots last week, which came out very nice. I also tested the video on it, which is capable of 4K at 60 FPS, which is just crazy to think of that coming from an iPhone. There's also now portrait mode for the front-facing camera, which adds background blur to selfies. It works pretty well, but certainly isn't perfect. Same goes for the new portrait lighting feature. Nice, but not perfect. Still, I was able to get some pretty cool looking shots from these modes, and they're certainly not bad coming from an iPhone. While I haven't used the camera a ton so far, it seems very capable with powerful video and photo features. Quick word about battery life. It has been great. I've gotten a lot of usage per charge this week, and it seems to perform better than my 7 Plus did. However, I think my Plus may have developed some battery issues with iOS 11. Either way, the 10 battery has impressed me so far. Oh, and wireless charging is an excellent addition. I love being able to just set my phone down on my nightstand to charge and pick it up in the morning without fiddling with cables. Super convenient. So those were my impressions after 1 week of using the iPhone X. Overall, I really like this device and I'm really enjoying using it. The design feels futuristic, refreshingly new, and just plain cool. The new way of using the iPhone is even better than before, and the user experience is enhanced with the edge-to-edge display. And Face ID, despite some minor trade-offs compared to Touch ID, is really a great feature. So first impressions are, this iPhone is definitely worth it so far. But that's not all. Stay tuned for my full review of the iPhone X to come after I've had a significant amount of time using this device on a day-to-day basis. In the meantime though, subscribe so you don't miss out on the review and other content like this. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video and comment and let me know what you think of the iPhone X. Thanks again, God bless, and bye for now.